Article 7 of the GPSR states that in order to comply with the GPSR, your product must comply with harmonized standards or other standards. So in this video, I will explain how you can identify harmonized standards on the European Commission website and how you can use the Senelec website to identify other standards. Let's begin. Now, I'll take you to the European Commission website, and there's a page here dedicated to harmonized standards. And just scroll down here to consumers and worker protection, and then you select general product safety. And then you scroll down to the bottom of the page, and then you can download the list of harmonized standards as a PDF or as an Excel file. Okay, this is what the PDF version looks like. The version from September 2024. And what we have here is a list of harmonized standards published in the official journal of the European Union, and these are also the standards described in Article 7. Now, these matter because when you are trying to identify product standards for a given product under the GPSR, well, you usually begin by looking at the list of harmonized standards. And let's say that I'm selling a carrier, a baby carrier. Okay. And I found something here. On page 5, I found a standard titled 13209-1 from 2004. And this seemingly applies to baby carriers. So if I'm selling a baby carrier, then it's clear that this is where I should begin. And this is specifically for framed baby carriers, and then we have another one for soft carriers. Okay? So if I was developing a baby carrier, I would at this stage already have a product standard that I can then implement and thus ensure compliance with the GPSR. As you can see, there are a few pages here. You can find standards for furniture, different types, gymnastic equipment, stationary training equipment, more furniture, certain child use and child care articles. I think you find soothers, baby bottles and so on, cycles, lighters, more gymnastics equipment, internal blinds, driving accessories. So it's quite specific, okay? And but in any case, download the latest version from the EU website, read through it, and see if you can find anything that applies to your product. That's a very good way to start. That's where we usually start. But what do you do if you cannot find anything? Let's say that you're selling a baby stroller. Okay, you can't find anything because there's nothing in this list. This list doesn't provide standards for every single product. That doesn't mean that we can just call it a day and we don't have to comply with anything. As you can see in Article 7 and 8 of the GPSR, all this means is that we have to look for other options. Now, other options in many cases means that we have to look for other European standards that are not on this list. And there are a few thousand. Most European standards are, in fact, not harmonized under the GPSR. So we have to go to the Senelec website, and that's where we can find other options. Oh, sorry, it's loading. Okay. And well, the best way to begin here is by typing in a product name. Type in stroller. Let's just imagine we sell a baby stroller. I use that example because for baby carriers, but then we have a harmonized standard. Case closed, at least to the extent that I could identify one. But what do we do with strollers? Well, we couldn't find anything, right? Again, that doesn't mean that baby strollers are completely unregulated. That would be very, very strange. Okay, so what have we here? I typed in stroller and we found EN 1888, 2024. Push chairs intended for leisure sport activities. So we found something. And as I said, the GPSR is quite clear that a harmonized standard is in some way seen as the default choice. That's where you begin, that you primarily select from that list. But if you cannot find anything, you have to consider other standards, and that could be non-harmonized European standards, such as this one. So in short, this has the basis in Article 7 and an Article 8, and you begin by looking for harmonized standards. You do that on the EU website, download a PDF, you scan through this, you see what you can find. And if you can't find anything, well, then it's time for Plan B, as described here and down here. And in this case, Article 8, European standards other than those that are referenced, well, we did find one on the Senelec website by typing in the term or the product name in this case. But that's how you can identify standards.